Hello, I'm Kristen Loafman, and welcome to Work for Cobb, a show where we share opportunities to work for the county. Today I have Raven White with HR. Hi Raven, how are you today?
I'm good, Kristen. How are you?
Great. So we're going to talk about a little bit about body language, which can be a real hot topic for interviews.
Right.
What are some things that you can suggest for interviewees?
Definitely eye contact, a great smile, great posture, and minimal hand movements if possible,
Okay.
so you don't distract the interviewer.
So if I want to, say I like to doodle, and I'm in an interview taking notes and I'm writing stuff, would you be able to do that? Is that a good idea?
Definitely not a good idea to doodle during an interview.
Great. So what are some suggestions for, other than the posture and things, that if somebody's coming in for an interview, should they shake hands? How should that handshake be done?
Definitely a good handshake, a good firm handshake, not too hard. You definitely want to keep eye contact when you're doing the handshake. Also, just good posture. Ladies, if you're wearing a skirt or a dress, make sure you cross your legs, but at your ankles. And gentlemen, just sit up straight. Make sure you're dressed well, nice tie, nice jacket, if possible.
So what are some things that recruiters look at as far as body language during an interview? Is there anything that they'll pick up on?
Definitely, I would say don't cross your arms during an interview, because that could make you seem kind of, standoffish in a way, or defensive. Try not to cross your legs too high during an interview. That's distracting. Don't, sit here and move your leg back and forth or jiggle it up and down. Don't click a pen during an interview. Things like that. Just kind of keep your movements to a minimum.
What if you're leaving? How would you wrap up your stuff if you have papers and things out?
I would wait until, everything has been done as far as talking. I wouldn't do that while the interviewer is still talking. I would just make sure everyone is done and, we've shaken hands, and then gather your things accordingly.
So if it's an interview that has more than one person, how would you go about shaking the people's hands? Would you just do one person, or would you do everybody?
Make sure you do everyone in the room, and go down the line if possible. Give a nice smile to everybody.
Okay, so is there a specific smile you might want to give? Like, do you want a huge, hey, I've had a great time smile, or just kind of a mediocre, thank you, I'm excited?
Just make sure, just keep it natural. You don't have to overdo anything, but definitely keep it natural and genuine.
Right, and what are some body language things that people could do to show their interest? Should they lean forward? Should they just kind of be slouched back? What should they be doing?
Definitely no slouching. I would say, lean forward, sit up straight, eye contact. Maybe even turn your body towards the person that you're speaking to, just to show that you're engaged in the conversation.
Great. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Just, stay genuine during the interview, be yourself, but also, tailor to your audience. So, speak louder if you need to, or speak softer if you need to. Just make sure you tailor your message to your audience.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us today, Raven. We appreciate your time.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be back after this message.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing you. Believe me, I'm good at it. But at some point, you're going to need to start pushing yourself.
See, once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them. You can't change your past, but you can definitely change your future.
That makes me so happy, I'm ready to bust out a dance.
Mr. Trejo, can they transfer this guy to you? My Jetzel technique isn't really working. You need something a little more
Persuasive?
Yes.
You listen, and you listen good.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Terry? Terry!
Take it from me, the King DMC. It's a real cool thing to get your GED.
Get that diploma!
Now hold on and we'll find you free GED classes. Capiche?
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
And we're back. Now I have Deputy Hargraves from the Sheriff's Office today to talk to us about some of the opportunities the Sheriff's Office has for you. Hi, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Great. How long have you been with Cobb County?
I've been with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office for 5 years now.
Great. And did you start out as a deputy?
Yes, ma'am. Still currently a deputy now. Started out with the Sheriff's Office as a deputy at the jail.
Oh, great. So what are some opportunities that the Sheriff's Office has right now for employment?
Right now, the Sheriff's Office has multiple opportunities for a deputy sheriff as well as civilian personnel. This includes a criminal justice specialist as well as other things that deal on the civilian side.
Great. And so as far as sheriff's deputies, I know you guys are always advertising those opportunities. What are you looking for in those positions?
First and foremost, we got to have somebody that has a lot of integrity. Integrity is going to be the key for a deputy sheriff here at the Sheriff's Office. Somebody has to be truthful, no matter if somebody's watching them or not watching them. So that's first and foremost for us.
Great. And what are some skill sets that you might look for?
Skill sets in general would need to be somebody who is somewhat physical fit shape. The job itself deals with carrying 200 plus pounds at any given moment, as well as everything that's already on you as far as your equipment goes.
Right. And you mentioned that you had started out in the jail or the adult detention center, and now you're working over in the courts section?
No, ma'am. I am currently in the recruiting section of
great.
the Sheriff's Office.
Great.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
So how do you get to move around into the different locations? Do you have different units that you get to be part of? Is it a promotional thing?
Yes, ma'am. It's not so much promotional. We do have promotions within the Sheriff's Office, but in order to move to different areas of the Sheriff's Office, it's going to be at the discretion of the Sheriff himself, as well as your skill set and where you're needed. You start off in the detention facility, which is where everyone starts off at the Sheriff's Office, and then we have 3 areas with that. One being the detention facility, second would be operations, and third would be the administrative section of the Sheriff's Office.
So if I'm going to apply for a position with the Sheriff's Office, what will I have to do? What are some of the steps I have to do?
The first step is you actually need to physically apply online. You can find that at cobbsheriff.org or cobbcounty.org.
Great.
And it'll be under employment opportunities.
Okay, and so once I fill out the application, what is the next step from that?
The next step will be to come and take our physical abilities test. Mm-hmm. Before you're able to take that step, we as the recruiting will do a formal background check to make sure that your application was filled out correctly, and then you would be allowed to come and take our physical abilities test.
Great, and then once I did that, if I pass all of those things, then what would happen?
The next process is going to be for us to do a more depth background check in order to vet the things that you've put on your application. And then that process could take anywhere from 8 weeks to 3 months, just depending on the individual, how many applicants applied, as well as the background itself.
Great. So are there some things that would keep me from being hired in my background?
Yes, ma'am. Anything that was withheld on your background application. So if you were untruthful, that's an automatic disqualification, as well as any felony convictions would automatically disqualify you.
Okay, so I get hired.
Correct.
What do I do next? Do you train me? Do I go outside and get trained?
The Sheriff's Office will train you. Each deputy sheriff is sent to the North Georgia Central Law Enforcement Academy, which is where they are mandated through post, which is where they will acquire their arrest powers. And then from that point, you start back at the detention facility until your next step in the sheriff's office.
Great. So everybody has to go through the adult detention center.
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
Position. They can't just start out and be out on the road.
No, ma'am. Everyone starts off at the detention facility, and there's no given time of when you'll come out of the actual jail itself.
So what are some of the things that a deputy at the jail would be doing?
Daily duties at the jail for the sheriff's office would consist of monitoring and maintaining the safety of the detainees at the jail, as well as the jail staff and other deputies within the jail. You have multiple responsibilities that deal with transport, intake, processing of the detainees.
So I see the white sheriff's office cars driving around. So what do they do, the deputies in those cars?
They're going to be part of the operations division, which will handle civil processing, warrant services, as well as deputies in those cars that patrol the courthouses themselves to make sure everything is safe up here at the courthouses for courthouse personnel, as well as civilian and deputies.
Great. Now, at the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned criminal justice specialists. What do they do, and what is the difference between them and a sheriff's deputy?
A sheriff's deputy is going to be a sworn personnel through post. A criminal justice specialist is on the civilian side for the sheriff's office, but they also deal with detainees at the jail. They are the ones that process the detainees when they come into the detention facility. They're going to be in charge of intake and account for the money, as well as inmate property. They're going to monitor the security systems within the jail. They're going to be in charge of the safety for the deputies as they enter the housing units. So they're going to be the ones responsible for all that.
Great. And what are some of the daily things other than what you just mentioned? So I know I've been to the jail before for a tour, and they're like pods. Are they the ones that stand in the middle of the pods and control all of the cameras?
Yes, ma'am. That's going to be part of their daily responsibilities. And that goes back to where I mentioned the safety of the officers and the actual detainees within the facility. You're also going to have the criminal justice specialists now who work at the courthouse. They're going to be responsible for input of warrants, warrant data. They're going to contact other local agencies or surrounding agencies to make sure there are no outstanding warrants for any of our detainees at our detention facility.
Great. So what are the skill sets that I would need for those positions?
You have to have a high school or a GED. If we're talking about a criminal justice specialist, this is going to be somebody who we like to have at least 2 years of administrative background as far as on computer softwares, any type of security systems.
Great. And how would you apply for these positions?
Criminal justice specialist, you still go online at cobbsheriff.org or cobbcounty.org, and it'll be under employment opportunities.
Great. So can you share just one thing that stands out for you that you've experienced as a deputy that was just like one of those moments that you were just thankful that you were in the job that you were in?
Every day. Every day is something different, but every day is an outstanding day at the Cobb County Sheriff's Office.
Great. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate you coming by today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right. We'll be back after this.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
And we're back. Now we have Rob Hosack, our county manager, with us. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Kristen.
We're
How are you?
excited to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
So you worked for the county for 27 years, and then you retired, and now you're back. What made you come back?
You know, it was one of those things, Kristen. It was kind of an opportunity of a lifetime. When I left, I wanted to start a business, wanted to work on my own, be an entrepreneur, was able to do that. And when something kind of drops out of the sky like this did, somewhat unexpectedly, it's like, you're not going to get really too many chances like this to work with people that you love to work with. I mean, when I was here for 27 years, I made a bunch of friends. But more importantly, I think I just learned what the real meaning of being a Cobb County employee was, which was, expect the best, do things differently, try to think of different ways to do things, and just kind of go that extra step, every single time.
Right. So as the county manager, what is your perspective on how the employees should be or what we're looking for?
Well, I'll tell you, I think that, and everybody tells me this, and I think I've acknowledged this several times, I had big shoes to fill. David Hankerson was my mentor, and I think was probably somebody that has done something that nobody else will ever do, as far as what he built here in Cobb County, the culture that he built here. And I think that my job is going to be to make sure that I kind of nurture and make changes. I mean, sometimes you have to change things, but for the most part, I think that the culture here is you hire good people, you empower them to do their job, you listen to new ideas, you let folks kind of try different things, you make it a fun place to work. You consistently train people and make sure that you're giving them good resources to do the best job that they can do. And I think that's why Cobb County's thrive the way they have, and I think that that's what this board is committed to doing, and certainly, I'd be committed to doing as, to all, 4,200 of my coworkers, hey, let's have fun, let's keep doing things the way we've been doing, and let's make this the best place we can make it, be.
Great. To be successful as an employee here, what does somebody have to do? What does that look like?
Well, I tell you, it's funny. I've been, I've given a little welcome remark to a couple of employee orientations, and honestly, they're simple rules. I think, Kristen. I think take advantage of all the great benefits that Cobb County provides. I think we took a big step with our class and pay. Still got a little work to do, understandably, but I think the other thing sometimes that folks don't realize is that there are so many other incredible benefits that are offered to employees. The training opportunities, the commitment to training. I tell this to folks that I kind of worked here during the Great Recession. And I think we were probably the only government in all of the metro area, if not the state, that didn't make significant cuts to training. We had cuts in other places. We asked folks in the HR department and other departments to work double time, but I think we did so to make sure that we continued to provide training. So incredible benefit. I don't think any other place did that. Honestly, there are other, like just the commitment to wellness, and the programs available to keep employees healthy, and the ability to be able to go to a work site fitness center or an aquatic center. Again, private sector wise, that's usually something that you might get a little bit of an expenditure for, but you're usually having to pay for stuff like that. And here it's a great benefit. The life insurance and the health insurance benefits, I think, are second to none. And really, I think just the general atmosphere of folks that are allowed to start coming up with new ideas and they get a chance to see those things put into place, you know. I think about a lot of the stuff that we're doing with our financial model now. That started a long time ago with a kind of, you know, Jim Pearson,
right.
Who had recently passed and was our longtime finance director, came up with an idea and was encouraged to run with it. And I think now it's a model throughout, there's a patent on it. It's a model throughout the United States. So just being able to kind of have the opportunity to do things. I know when you first started, you were like, hey, I'd like to redo the county, you know, webpage, the county employee webpage. And I don't think you were ever told no. Actually, I think you were like, okay, how fast can you have it, you know, finished? So I think things like that. I think there's a culture or a, you know, everybody's on the team. Mm-hmm. And I think our job as managers is to let people do their jobs, you know, let folks come up with new ideas and then try to figure out a way to put them into place.
Great. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, other than, you know, I would say to folks, I'm kind of, I think, an example of if you take advantage of everything that the county offers to you, you have a chance to move up. You know, I started out here at an entry level, and the county was kind enough to put me through training, and I stuck with it. And really, I think if you avail yourselves to the opportunities that the county provides, you know, you have a chance to move up. And I would encourage everybody to do that.
Well, thanks for your time.
Right,
I know
Kristen.
you're super busy.
Well, I appreciate
so we'll
you
let you
having me.
go back and get all your meetings done. But we're thankful you were here today. Thanks so
for
much.
visiting. All righty.
And that's our show. Thank you.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did. Mm-hmm.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on a sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
for the first time, I wondered how your life had been. Had anybody held you or loved you? Or had they never noticed you there? What are you doing here? If your eyes could cry, I'd see a tear. The sadness that I see, you're coming home.
Why are you turning in this dog?
Be the best of friends.
Well, we're moving.
How long have you had the dog?
11 years.
You understand the dog will likely be put down?
Yeah.
I'll need you to complete the surrender if you would, please. You're giving up all rights to the dog. Are you okay with this?
Both my eyes have filled with tears, knowing one will find a home, leaving others fate unknown, killing our best friends. There's only so much one can do, that's why I'm out here asking you.
Did you want to keep the collar?
I don't think so.
Don't run away from your fear. That lovers need to learn and finally be concerned. They're killing our best friends. There's only so much one can do, that's why I'm out here asking you. How can you help me?
Every year, in metro Atlanta alone, nearly 90,000 unwanted animals are put to death. It is epidemic and unnecessary. The problem can be fixed. Spay and neuter your animals. The time to act is now. Stop the needless killing. Please help us. www.mostlymutts.org.
Welcome. I understand you need a little help with your mortgage. Want to avoid foreclosure. Smart move. Candy? Well, you know, you're in luck. We're experts in this sort of thing. Mortgage, rigmarole, whatnot.
Really?
Absolutely. And we guarantee results, you know, for a small fee, of course. Such are the benefits of having a professional on your side. Why don't we get a contract? Who wants a contract?
Here you go, Pete.
Thanks, Betty.
Write a toner.
Sign it. Come on, sign it. Families around the country every single day, saving homes.
We will talk it over with.
If you're facing foreclosure, make sure you're talking to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.